Jeremy Bash, your reaction to what the president had to say about this case today in France?
Yeah, I think the everybody does it defense is going to be very hard to explain to Bob Mueller for a couple of reasons, Lawrence. First, the meeting was with a government official. Second, it wasn't just any government, it was of a foreign adversary. Third, what was being advertised in the meeting and in the emails was support, a contribution, an illegal contribution from a foreign national to the campaign in the form of opposition research. And fourth, the email traffic from the intermediary explicitly said this was part of Russia and the government's support for Donald Trump. If you take all four of those factors in mind, it looks a lot different than standard opposition research, which everybody does.
Let's listen to what Senator Mark Warner said today about these new developments involving Donald Trump's family.
We still anticipate talking to Mr. Kushner. We have made a series of document requests, and we expect to be receiving those very shortly. We also, as recently as this week, have put out requests to Donald Trump Jr., and I'm going to take him at his word, just as I'll take Mr. Kushner at his word, that they want to cooperate with the committee.
Ambassador Soderberg, this is exactly the way these kinds of the investigations expand. A story like this breaks, and suddenly they have some very specific questions they'd like to ask Donald Trump Jr. as soon as possible.
Well, and first of all, on the opposition research during a campaign, it is not normal to have the campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, and some of the closest associates of the candidate sit down and do this. You usually have a very separate team doing it. And this is a team that can't get their story straight. And whatever the original sin was here, whether it was criminal or just dumb, the problem always comes in the investigation and whether you're telling the truth. People always lie under oath, always try and hide the truth, and it's always the cover-up that gets these guys. So they better get their story out right away and get it straight. They're going to be under oath, so they can't redo the security forms or redo their statements. And I don't think we still know the full truth of any of these meetings. And that's what these investigations are going to show, and it's going to take some time. And I don't think any of the current statements that have been put forward will be the full story. There's a lot more here than we know.
Let's listen to what Senator Blumenthal said today about Kushner.
I think Jared Kushner ought to resign. Either Donald Trump is lying when he says that he knew nothing of the meeting, or Jared Kushner failed to tell him about
it. Jeremy, your reaction to that?
Well, I think, again, Bob Mueller is going to look at all those conversations and ask every single person involved, what did you tell the president and when did you tell him? It's interesting. The defense of Donald Jr. is sort of, he's not that bright. And he doesn't know very much, which is sort of damning with faint praise, I should say, of the son of the president. But Jared Kushner is a bright individual with a very important job in government, and I think he's going to be held to a very high standard. And Paul Manafort has basically made a career of being an expert on foreign agent registration, on lobbying disclosure, on federal election law. He clearly knows that it is inappropriate and unlawful to accept a contribution from a foreign government, from the Russian government, particularly when it's delineated as part of a Russian government operation to help the campaign. Paul Manafort knows well that that is inappropriate and illegal.
Jeremy Bash and Nancy Soderberg, thank you both for joining us.